I fought this dish a little bit in the beginning. We didn't. Our food truck, we had a totally different menu when we first started. We started at a bar. We should have known better. We were serving, trying to do all these different kind of dishes, and then everybody kept asking for burgers and nachos, and we started making some really good ones. But then people were asking for pad thai, and I never really ate pad thai. I made a lot of it. I used to work at Thai Fresh. I was in culinary school, so I made a lot of it, but I never ate it myself. So I was like, I usually like to make what I like to eat, kind of thing. And if you like it, good, but I make it. So I did it, and I think I got it down pretty darn good. And our pad thai sauce, we only sell right now at the farmers markets because it's still not shelf stable, so we haven't got it tested yet to sell at retail. But it's very authentic. We have our real tamarind, not in concentrate, dried shrimp, pickled radish, palm sugar. A lot of pad thai sauces out there, they'll use brown sugar and try to substitute it and say it works. And there's a difference. There's a reason why they use palm sugar and not brown sugar.
Why do you think that is?
It's just the flavor. I mean, first of all, palm sugar is unrefined. It's kind of almost like maple syrup. It's coming from the root of the palmyra tree. And we have a ginger coffee lime syrup that we do with our mango sticky rice. And you try it by itself. We didn't bring any. Just the flavor is so much cleaner than brown sugar.
So I've seen a lot of recipes where they just use straight up white granulated sugar.
Yeah, and they will use a lot of white granulated sugar in Thai cooking. Like they call for that in the mango sticky rice, but I substitute our ginger coffee lime instead.
Gotcha.
I think the flavor is richer. It comes out a little darker flavor than just getting that. Yeah, more complex. So I put the eggs in this one first. If you do chicken, I do the chicken first. Shrimp pad thai is more authentic. I don't scramble the egg, and I got the raw. I'm doing about enough for like 4 portions or so in this. I do this cut shallots, and I'm really trying to get the whole thing. You're like living on the edge the entire time. You're like just to the edge of burning, just to the edge of where you're like, oh crap. But that's where you get all the good flavor. So what I do is this, and I kind of get it, and then I'm gonna add the shrimp in so that let the shallots kind of cook. The shells can burn pretty quick. You have to be careful of that. Shrimp's authentic. If you have tofu, that's very authentic. They do a lot of tofu with Thai Thai. Chicken, other things they're not, but we love chicken, so we do a lot of chicken oftentimes. And this dish, it is one of the more complex dishes when it comes to Thai cooking. A lot of noodle dishes are. People are, I think, afraid of trying to do it more so than other dishes. Really, I think when I learned the technique when I was at Thai Fresh, and the technique is pretty sound. And it really starts with the noodles and the quality of the noodles and how you prepare them, how you soak them. So, we soak these noodles, these medium rice noodles, and you can get similar ones at the supermarket. Three Ladies Green's a really good brand. Coming to the farmers market, we're usually selling a couple of these. These ones are much different than the ones you would get like normally in the grocery store, like from Thai Kitchen or something like that. They're just a better quality noodle. But it usually says soak in really hot water, and that's like if you're like in a pinch and you've forgotten to soak the noodles in advance, because you take about an hour and a half.
Have they been at room temp?
Yeah. If you were gonna keep them overnight, I'd put them in the fridge. But if you're gonna keep them out for a few, it's not a problem. Keep them out for a few hours. And it depends. It also depends on the temperature when you're actually soaking them in too. The water, because that's gonna, and the air temperature is kind of, barometer and all that kind of stuff too. You notice like it took an hour last time. Now it's taking 2 hours to soak these noodles. Because you're looking for like on the edge of the noodles is gonna be kind of soft, a little bit of give, versus like really hard or really soft, mushy. Because when they get really soft and mushy, then they're gonna get to where, when you cook them in the wok, and you'll see that, you're pretty much going to come out and it's going to be really just falling apart, like mushy, and it's going to be gross. You want it to be, gummy and gross, and that's the key to a good pad thai. Minus the sauce, which is what we give you, is the technique with the noodles is extremely important. I think that's where a lot of times, places mess up. So they got like a good little singe on that. I'm just trying to get a little bit of color on the shrimp, mainly with the other things. And you'll see the pad thai sauce, because the palm sugar is thinner, obviously, and then when you cook it, it's going to really caramelize and thicken up. And it really soaks up in the noodles really nicely. and it's that dark caramelization. That's where you get all that concentrated flavor. And it'll pick up a lot of this stuff from the wok itself. You can do it on your stovetop. You can do it really hard on electric. I hate electric, but a lot of places, they've got gas here, which is great. But if you have the ability to go out in the backyard, I mean, I use this every night in my apartment illegally. Where you take pictures and like post it because what if they follow my Facebook? Backyard? That's very illegal. But I don't care because I can't cook in the house and I want to sear everything. So this bad boy does it. I think now I'm pretty much ready at this point to add the noodles. And again, this is crucial at this point. This is a good 2 to 2.5 portions right there. Noodles. The higher the heat, the more you can put in there. I think start off with like single batch, and then work your way up to doing more noodles. And then with a ring, you want to do a ring of oil for like each batch. So I'm gonna do like this.
What kind of oil?
Just using vegetable canola. You try to use oil that's neutral. It's not gonna use any kind of flavor in there. And that's the thing, yeah. It's like that's why we created our Thai chili powder. Well, I kind of created it on accident and realized when we used it that wow, this is like really a good spice. It doesn't change the flavors of the food, and if anything else, it just kind of pulls them all together. And then at the same time, it warms your palate and it sits there to where you taste everything. And with Thai food, that's what Thai food's all about. That's why I love it so much. Is that it's like this dance of basically French cooking with Italian cooking. You're supposed to put as few ingredients as possible together and let them shine. And Thai cooking is like we're gonna put a bunch of stuff together and you're gonna get all these different flavors every time you take a new bite. You're gonna get, and I hope you guys got that with the Brussels sprout salad. I think you got flavors layered upon layered upon layered. And that's the same thing with the pad Thai. It's salty, a little bit of bitter or sour or tangy, spicy, fishy. And you're gonna get a lot of different flavor with it, and that's what you're supposed to get. So when these noodles start to stick, become translucent, that's where you want to get the sauce in there. And they're starting to stick. My eyesight, you can't see very well in this light as far as translucent, but you can kind of tell when they start working on you and they start to kind of bunch together that you can really, and it depends on the heat. I mean, it could take 2 minutes, it could take 30 seconds, and how much you have in there as well. So that's why I said you just got to play around with it and practice makes perfect. So this is the pad Thai sauce, so we put everything in there. I'm gonna ground it. And then this is where this is one of the only points in this dish where you can actually be patient.
There's fish sauce in that?
Yeah.
Yeah, I smell it.
Yeah, fish sauce. And then the dried shrimp too. So everything that, most restaurants, I mean, hopefully they put fish sauce. I find that a lot of restaurants, it's amazing. Like we were talking about the gluten-free thing. When they say, oh, a pad Thai, and I walk in and they're like, oh, is this gluten-free? And why not? Well, it has soy sauce in it. Why does it have soy sauce in it? Nowhere have I ever seen, when I'm in Thailand or when I'm researching recipes and trying to find, I basically go online and I'll research this recipe, and I'll say, that makes no sense. Okay, this is pretty good. Let's put these together and let's see what happens with this. Because, I mean, there's no unique idea. I mean, in anything you do. Well, it's taking things that have already been done and then raising them up, elevating them. So, but yeah, no. So most people would leave out the dried shrimp, the pickled radish, which you may not be able to unless you have a really, really awesome palate. You may not be able to.
Where do you find dried shrimp?
Empty supermarket, but it's hard to find it clean, like just crustacean, just salt, A lot of times they're adding all this coloring is in there and everything, so we source.
MT's supermarket?
Yeah, up off of Breaker and North Lamar.
Okay.
It's like a big Asian shopping center. They got so much stuff. First time I ever went there when I moved to Austin, I walked around for like 4 hours. No joke. I was
It's like
trying
the
to read.
Sam's of Asia.
Yeah. And I met a lady last week at the market who's from Thailand, and she came in, she bought the pad Thai, and she talked to us for like 30 minutes, her husband and her. And she's, afterwards, she followed through, I was talking about these noodles that I had over there with this Kanamjin noodles, and they're fermented rice noodles, and they make them through a sieve, and they go down, they boil in the water, and typically they're best when they're fresh, but you can only get them fresh in Thailand. I want to start making mine when I have time, but you can find them sparingly in Asian markets. But I couldn't find an MT, and trying to get them to help you there is so difficult. So, they'll be like, oh, No, I can't do that. So you're like, you spend all this time and you get nothing. And, but she said, text me pictures. Oh, I know there was one she sent me a picture of, and I saw them, like, okay, cool. I went and bought them the other day. I'm going to use them. Hope they come out, hope they're the right thing. They look Vietnamese, which I've read online, you know, you can pass with Vietnamese. So that's pretty good right there. It's soaked up. A little bit of caramelization. I'm going to put the bean sprouts in now. Which, you know, bean sprouts can kind of like, you know, be careful with bean sprouts. You got to use them. They go bad really quickly. And when they go bad, they go bad.
They're nasty.
It's like raw chicken. So it tastes like chicken going bad.
Oh, wow.
And you can smell, if you get close enough, you can smell how it's like right on the edge of like, hey, I want some more sauce. So I'm going to put a little more sauce in there. And then I'm going to take this and I'm going to flip it over top. I'm just going to let the bean sprouts cook a little bit underneath the pad thai. Because I don't know, when I was working at the Thai Fresh, you know, pretty much she said you have to do this because the state of Texas health department requires you to cook the bean sprouts. And I'm like, what about pho? And I'm like, well, the pho comes out warm. So maybe that's when you put the bean sprouts in, the warm liquid's cooking the bean sprouts? I don't know. That's what she told me. So I've always done it. It's really easy. It works well. But at this point, with this right here, I add the rest of the ingredients. I'm going to add a little bit of lime juice, which isn't in the sauce yet. I'm thinking about it. If we get it tested and it's not quite shelf stable, I'm not adding any junk. We don't add any junk to our products. I'll just add lime juice, which is already in the dish anyways. So hopefully it'll get the pH down low enough where you don't have to worry about it. Because it's really hard to get products on the shelf when they're not shelf stable. Very difficult. Thai chili powder. A good amount. And then Chinese chives, garlic chives. You can use green onion. I mean, it's gonna taste really good, but these are just maybe you can smell these by themselves. These are just really, really nice, really earthy. They really make a difference. You get a little bit of crispiness on that one.
Those are bean sprouts? Wait, what are they?
The Chinese chives, like garlic chives.
So you substitute garlic chives?
No, garlic chives
No.
are pretty much something very similar. It's almost like the same thing. And you smell them, the garlic chives. They're just called Chinese chives, you know, in other areas.
Are we gonna arm wrestle to see who eats it?
I know.
I know. It's the first.
What?
Over here like a dog.
I mean, I'm willing to let somebody come over here and try to do this.
I can try.
Yeah.
Just like move it around.
No, like, the next batch, like sit down and
Show how it's
like
done,
make.
Yeah,
Just show how it's done, babe.
Yeah, because like
Right.
Yeah, after her I will definitely try that.
yeah. 'Cause this, I mean, I'm just trying to realize how.
This looks so cool.
Yeah, it's fun. We've done cooking parties where we've done this.
Show 'em how to make
Try
cheesecake.
They make it,
Yeah.
it's really good. You know, it's not as hard as I thought it was.
Show them how to make Sri Lankan curry, but I need all the curry stuff.
And that's like
it's
we're
scary
trying,
when
we're trying
you
to
see the
debunk that
recipe.
myth that like Asian cooking Thai food is like gotta be difficult.
Yeah.
We take most of the legwork out with this, with the sauces. That's really when we come up with those. That's really, I mean, the technique on this is important, but I mean, you practice a little bit, you can get it. It's not like it's not brain surgery. There's a lot more difficult jobs out there. So, I mean, this is probably pretty darn good. So turn the heat off of this one. Kristen, do you have a container to put this in? And then I'm gonna magically switch out to my other wok. And she's gonna wash this one for me. And then go to another bag.
Why do you have to stick out the wok?
You know, just because it's going to get it start off cooking from scratch with a clean wok. Sometimes, depending on how, but I really